first centre clearance, they get it forward, they score, they lock it in their front half and turn it into a 7-point play.
Doing all of the attacking early, the first 3 inside 50s of this contest this afternoon. And what a brilliant goal that is by Fitzsimon. But Shelley Heath-Mel, what a start she's had. That first centre clearance, so important. And that Melbourne just able to generate that time in forward half.
Yeah, she's obviously really stepped up with the absence of Liv Purcell this season through the midfield and has really evolved her game.
Hall harassed by Marinoff, ball spills out. Adelaide now with a chance to get their hands on the football. Haven't been able to in the first few minutes. Hatchard goes hunting. Lampard taken to ground, got the handball. Can Goldrick get there? She can't. It'll be an Adelaide ball. Melbourne with 5 of the first 6 contested possessions in the game. Adelaide realise this is an area they're going to need to be strong in this afternoon. They can't let Melbourne dictate terms from the inside. That kick from Kelly, not ideal for Randall. She's outnumbered, lays the tackle on Wotherspoon. Goldrick spun through, but straight into Mueller. Had to release. Grace Kelly. Smothered off the boot of Randall. Great pressure from Melbourne, hunting early. Hall wins the scrimmage over the top to Bannon. She's got support. Wotherspoon a fumble, puts herself under pressure. Hatchard in there, puts the body. Well done, Allen. The sisters combine. Marinoff, Neve Kelly this time. Took her eye off the football, sockers it forward. Goldrick takes the grab. Good heat from the D's early, as you'd expect. In a cutthroat semi-final. Taylor's kick inside 50 is good. The mark's taken by Gall on the chest in front of Padel. Georgia Gall right on 50 without outside her range. Padel went the spoil. Danger at the back. Kate Hall kicks Melbourne second. Melbourne doing all the attacking. They've had the first 4 inside 50s, and tellingly, they've scored 3 times from those 4 entries. Kate Hall with goal number 20 for the season. Equals her personal best from 2023. Having another super year, the Melbourne skipper.
Kate Hall is one player you cannot give this much space to in that forward line, and she's just so clever how she reads the ball, the drop of the front and centre there, and just such an incredible finisher. Such a crucial cog to this D's lineup.
Tackles 5-1, but that just shows Adelaide second to the football at the moment, Abs.
It's looking like a 2v6 game at the moment, Jace. Melbourne just well accustomed to this final heat, and Adelaide just need to settle the play here.
Thanks. Goodwin works her off. That was important. Got it to Mueller. Adelaide just need a little bit of tempo football, a little bit of kick mark here. Get control of it and just settle into this contest, Mel, because they've been mugged early.
Yeah, you mentioned the tempo. They haven't taken a mark yet this game, so need to find that release kick and just get the mark and be able to get the game on their terms.
Let's head boundary side on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in Melbourne, and that.
Oh, Jace, it is absolutely stunning down here. I'm just keeping an eye on how the forward lines for both sides look at the moment. Zoe Prowse, who we know traditionally is a defender for the Adelaide Crows, is going forward at the moment like she did last week. So keeping an eye on whether they make that change later on. And then, of course, with Melbourne, it's Georgia Gall and Georgia Campbell coming into that forward line and spending a little bit more time there in the absence of Eden Zanker. So just rotating. And those two are really going to have to stand up and help Taylor Harris as well today in that forward line.
Gillard takes a defensive grab. First inside 50 for Adelaide was in and out in an instant. Hanks' kick. Mackin had to stand and wait as Charlton arrived.
And keep an eye on Zoe Prowse, as we said, just before the ceremony, went down to the rooms with the doctor in tow, so keep an eye on any discomfort.
Paxman to Mackin. Inside 50 again for the D's. McNamara with a bit of space to work in here. Touch kick is perfect. Just floated over the head of Newman and onto the chest of Fitzsimon. And a chance for for Megan Fitzsimon to go back and kick a second goal.
Some real worrying signs for the Crows at the moment. Just the ease that Melbourne were able to move the ball through the corridor just then. They need to know that that's how the Melbourne want to move the ball. You've got to be better at that with your team defence.
Sixth season in the competition, having a career best year. Megan Fitzsimon averaging 17 touches a game. To kick 2 goals in the opening term, she starts it right and straight. It was just off in its alignment.
And they're not up in the face either, Mel. Defensively, they need to be a lot tighter on this Demon side. If they can get confidence with that quick ball movement through the centre of the ground, like you mentioned, it's when they're up and about. They're already +7 in the uncontested game early in this contest.
Adele to Randall, they need some of their senior players here, like Chelsea Randall, to just have some time with the football, make some good choices and settle their team into this contest. Gillard aggressive with their defence. Couldn't complete the grab though. Rashid to Goodwin. Here's Marinoff. Inside 50 with the penetrating kick. Turns Taylor around. Grace Kelly worked off it by Denby Taylor. In there working is Gould, but the numbers should win for the D's. Taylor. Handball set Lampard, a big task. And now she's got a problem. Surrounded by 4 Crows. Ball spills out towards the pocket. Paxman versus Charlton. Well done, Charlton. Slipped away from Paxi Paxman. The kick just floats across the face.
Indy Rashid, very, very sore behind play. The trainers just trying to make their way out to her. She just pointed to the left ankle, but seems to be running it off okay.
So much experience and wisdom in big games for this Adelaide team. They just need to find their feet and settle down.
Better signs there with that pressure in their forward line. Just applying a bit more of that heat to Melbourne.
Can they lock it in their front half and turn the tables on the D's? Taylor to Allen, that's a mark. Marnie came in, umpire provides a bit of leeway there. The co-captain, one of the veterans who's been there and done that many times over. Hanks at the front, slapped away. Gillard, quick kick towards the square for Bannon, harassed by Randall. Marinoff in there as well. And this has been a better 2 or 3 minutes from the Crows.
This is where Adelaide, I guess, pride themselves on, is their ability to get the ball forward, but then their defensive structure, that brick wall defence behind the play. So they've been able to find that in those last few minutes.
Simon ran into Kelly and went no further. Kick to the middle. Sarah Allen controlled it with one hand. Bannon's going to arrive to pressure. Ball in dispute now for Fitzsimon, who started well. It took the Crows 5 minutes or so, but it feels like they're just catching their breath.
You just see Sarah Allen there. She's had an impressive few weeks in a row, and she just really marshals the troops back there.
Fitzsimon to Harris, who was held. Free kick Taylor Harris, no Eden's anchor, as Nat mentioned, so more responsibility on Gall and Campbell and Bannon forward. They've got plenty of height down there.
What a contesting marking matchup that one is, Randall on Harris.
Hatchard the tidy up. Customan the clearance, but only as far as Saray Taylor, who marks smack bang in the middle of Icon Park. Right on the Amy logo. Short ball. Mark taken O'Hare. Kick inside 50. Well done, Patel. Took front spot on Kate Hall and an important grab.
Just some control here, you feel like the Crows.
Newman. Marinoff versus Goldrick. Ebb takes the grab. It's not a grab. Play on the call. She sold Goldrick the fact that she marked it, and Sinead stood the mark accordingly. Gillard, slight fumble. Taylor back there as well. Kelly running with the direction of the football towards goal. Rashid straight into Taylor.
So a breakout game from young Rashid last week. First-year player, 13 disposals, 2 goals. That brilliant goal on the run on the left. Lots of excitement for many years to come.
Fitzsimon involved again. It's the extraction. Harris up in front. Effective score. Spills to Marnie. Customan provides the pressure. He forces the turnover. Away scurries Randall. Kick towards half forward, and Georgia Gall just went colliding with Randall to put the bump on and realised that Chelsea Randall's made a granite and came off second best. Free kick coming back to Indy Rashid.
It's been so impressive to watch the Crows fight back here. They're winning the contested possession count again. Just gone back to hunting the footy.
Spoil from behind on Gould. Boiler at the front. Will go again. Wanted to feed it to Jones, but Goldrick, Fitzsimon and Taylor there to prevent it. Boiler eventually does get it. She gives it to Neve Kelly, who just weaves away, finds some space. And good defence from Lampard to drop off and be the goalkeeper. Needs someone to provide an option. Precise kick was perfect and needed to be. It finds Fitzsimon, who's had a hot start. 5th touch for Megan. To Ebert. Ebert's kick into the path of McNamara. Tangle of the feet. Neve Kelly will get to the football first. Sells the dummy on McNamara. Steps around. Accelerates away. Kicks towards Gould inside 50. Great use of the body by Gillard. Incredible improvement in Talia Gillard over the last couple of years. What a player she's become.
Oh, yeah. She's just her ability now to know where she is in space and to use her body confidently. Just reads it so well.
Ball again provides a target and then wins it on the deck. Takes it away from Goodwin. Goodwin, good pressure. Gall couldn't find her boot. Charlton. Here comes Heath. Boylo. Umpire says a hold when not in possession. Adelaide ball. This has been a really good 5 or 6 minutes from the Crows. They've prevented this early margin blowing out. They've held it to 13 points at this stage. You can see the pressure factor, both teams applying plenty. Kick to the pocket. Ini Rashid tries to get there first. Spills out. Throw in about 30 metres around from the Adelaide goal. The Crows rallying after Melbourne jumped them early. They've had it in their half of the ground for an extended period, but now they need to put it on the board. Gould at the back. Boylo. Flipped out. Hatchard. Bumped off it by McNamara, who wins it. Gives it to Lampard, and she's just swamped. Marinoff in there scrapping. Can't control it either. Quick kick in the goal direction. Good use of the body from Randall. Uses Allen. Now Prowse. Prowse releases Grace Kelly from 48 metres out. Kelly's been a good finisher this year. She'll turn provider on this occasion. Hatchard from point blank range.
Brilliant. Just relentless pressure from the Adelaide Crows.
Hatchard takes it far too casually and 5 points get left on the table.
Just needed that extra bit of composure there. Senior player, the calibre of Anne Hatchard, just go back, settle the ship, send that one through. But Adelaide...
Oh, she's made up a 7-point play. That would have been brilliant from Hatchard. It's smothered off her boot. It's still there for Adelaide, though. Melbourne under enormous pressure.
Kudos to the Crows, just relentless pressure the last 5 to 10 minutes, and Caitlin Gould holding the ball call there. But Adelaide have set up that defensive brick wall once again, and it is Zoe Prowse that's playing that +1. So starting forward, but then helping out defensively as well to not allow the Ds any easy exits from their D50.
Really important kick. You see Gould's focus right of the right goalpost just to shape it back in, and does exactly that. Adelaide on the board. They get some reward for effort. It's a goal. The difference in the semi. Finally some return for all that effort after Melbourne dominated the early stages. Inside 50 count now 7-6. It's even right up. Vital for the Crows to get that one on the board. Great maturity as a team. Just settled down, got back to basics, stemmed the bleeding and minimised the damage.
Well, this is what coaches like to see. Anne Hatchard there, just a little bit of a lack in composure, but gets back defensively. A little hand there just to create the turnover. And then Caitlin Gould's relentless pressure just to create the ball handling error there from Lampard. So really hard-worked goal there for the Adelaide Crows.
Back within a kick. Pierce's tap, picked off by Ponta. Boyle Carr just squeezed the kick away and it'll work for Newman.
And Anne Hatchard just came to the bench, Abby, and was laughing a little bit about that one. So it's a good thing she can laugh it off at this point of the game.
It's a good thing they got a goal straight after, or she wouldn't have been laughing that.
7-point play.
Ball goes inside 50. Ball up.
Just the pleasing thing from the Crows at the moment is their ability to be able to get their hands out into space and get a little bit more of that uncontested possession they weren't able to get in the first 5 minutes.
And they've managed to turn Hunter. Mackin's kick cut off by Goodwin, kick inside 50. Kate Hall pushes back to provide support for the defence.
And Mel, they're not transferring pressure in close as well. They're holding their width to be able to chain up via hand.
Kick out of defensive 50. Going for distance was Gillard. Newman. Suddenly it's Adelaide winning all these 50-50 disputed balls. Boylo's kick inside. Paula again.
You see Melbourne utilise Kate Hoare in lots of different positions, and she'll often go back and steady the ship at times when there is a repeat entries happening in the back line.
Messy there from Melbourne. First Hoare with the kick, then Harris with the handball, and allows Adelaide to get back on the end of it. Guess who? Kate Hoare. She's a stat padding in the D50. But the bigger issue here is Adelaide doing a great job setting up a defensive zone, and Melbourne are struggling to clear it.
And that's where, from an Ebony Marinoff perspective, we know she's a big ball accumulator, but just then swung around, slammed it on the left, probably had a little bit more time and space to be able to drive the legs forward and then release.
Can they get it over the back? Maybe. There might be a chance. They're just going to kick it to space, Marnie, but there's the extra layer of defence from Adelaide. It's Bedell, and the switch is on. Out in space is Marinoff. Can Ebony hit a target inside 50? Wheels onto the left boot. Penetrating kick. Kate Hoare in position again, and Adelaide wasting some opportunities here.
Yeah, and you just feel like all the D's numbers are back at the moment, so they need to go slow because they're only going to kick straight to the Crows numbers.
The kick from Goldrick was weighted for Fitzsimon. That was great pressure, though, from Charlton to bring it to ground. Mackin, Pierce, Hall looks up, needs an option. It's a one-on-one. Wotherspoon tries to turn Mueller around. Will it sit? Well done, Wotherspoon. Got away. Now here's another one-on-one down the ground for Gall. Did she turn? Gives it off to Wotherspoon. Needs to try and get it back to Gall. Good pressure here from the Crows. Well done, Georgia Gall. Bedell run down. Well done by the D's.
Geez, you love that from your 183 centimetre key forward. He's doing the aerial work and then also laying the tackle.
Gall goes short. Mark taken by Mackin, 55 out. So Adelaide got numbers back, as you can see. Mackin thought about the short option to the lead. Now she'll spread it. Paxman can go inside. That's well worked by Melbourne. Then the mark was dropped by O'Hare. The hard work was done, and now she's gone.
They fought their way through. They were really patient and composed, and then just the breakdown of the skill error.
Quick kick to the wing, to a 2-on-2. Jones is stripped of the football by Goldrick. Advantage could be paid. It's going to come back, which won't particularly help the D's. You can hear mixed in here, they're saying, hey, take your time. Both teams been a little rushed going inside 50, with the other side getting numbers back.
Yeah, you can see Clark on the bench telling all these numbers to get back. There's pretty much every Crow in their front half, in their back half at the moment.
To come back and kick over the mark, there's Matthew Clark. A loss today would finish his tenure as Adelaide coach. And then the kick from Goldrick really wasn't to advantage at all. It's picked off by Kelly. In fact, it even sets them up potentially for a counter-attack, but that was the wrong option from Neve as well, just kicking it straight back to the numbers. Bit of composure required here. Taylor to Gillard, has to throw it on the boot. Big pack of players. Goodwin. Handball cut off. Paxman sold the dummy to two at once.
That's not the option, guys.
Krause, special comments from the bench, and it's bang on. Neve Kelly run down.
Just some game sense errors there from Neve Kelly. Took that great mark just outside D50, but all of the forwards had pushed back defensively to help out, so just needed to steady up and allow them to move forward.
O'Hare to Mackin, now to Goldrick. She'll try to drive it deep inside 50. Setting the feet was Wotherspoon. Here's Marnie. Can Maggie come up with something? Oh, yes, she can! Right on the siren. Super finish. And the D's get a late one through Maggie Marnie. And they lead it by 2 goals at the opening change. That one will sting the Crows. A last second goal from Melbourne. Well, our second semi-final coming up tonight. What a game it promises to be. A banged up Hawthorn fighting for survival against the Blues. The second semi. Hawthorn and Carlton tonight at 7 on 7.
All right, folks, there we go. Good afternoon. Of course, Icon Park here. The semi-final, the first semi's being played between Melbourne and Adelaide, and what a start Melbourne came out with. They rushed those early stages of this quarter, kicking 2 goals. I tell you what, they put Adelaide on the back foot. But Adelaide, I tell you what, they pressed for the next 10 minutes of this quarter. But Melbourne kicking a goal on the siren gives them a little bit of the breathing space for their hard work in the opening term. 3-2-20 Melbourne, of course, Adelaide 1-2-8. There we go. It's Melbourne by 12 points. Of course, Melbourne ended up second on the AFLW ladder for the season 2025. Adelaide Crows ended up 6th. So it's 2nd versus 6 in the first semi-final. We've got a ring-a-ding-ding game here. Of course, Melbourne, surprisingly enough, they're playing fantastic football. Adelaide Crows, one of the great teams of the AFLW. Tell you what, they're pressing, but Melbourne doing well. Their defence is spectacular today, only allowing Adelaide 1 goal, 2. There we go. Let's just have a look at some of the stats there. The goal scorers, of course, for Melbourne, Maggie Mahoney, Kate Hoare, and Megan Fitzsimon. They're the goal scorers for Melbourne at the moment. Of course, for the Adelaide Crows, Caitlin Gould, the only single goal scorer there. Yo, Addie G. Ryan, how you doing, fellas? Hey, Ryan, thanks for the 1 month membership. The Everyday Smile, good man, good man. I hope you're having a great day there. It's about 22 degrees here down in Melbourne, Icon Park. It's a warm day for footy, but it's a great day. It's a great day. Got a little bit of sunny peaks out there, so it's quite nice. Let's have a look at the disposal count. And of course, leading the way is Melbourne's Kate Hall with 8 disposals, 7 kicks, 1 handball, 4 marks, and a goal. So she's had a fantastic opening term. Ebony Marinoff for the Adelaide Crows, next best on 7, with 5 kicks, 2 handballs, 2 marks, 3 tackles, doing it well. The next 5 are all from Melbourne. Sarah Lampard on 7, Talia Gillard on 6, Taylor and McNamara on 5. There we go. Let me just roll down there. Chelsea Randall there for Adelaide. Just on the 4 touches with Grace Kelly as well, and Sarah Goodwin also on 4 there. There we go. We're going to have a quick look at the team stats. I just want to have a look at the inside 50s for both teams in just a second. We're only a couple of minutes away from the bounce of the ball for the second term. There we go. Melbourne leading the way in disposal count in this game, 73-58. They are plus 15. Looking at the inside 50 count down there, folks, it's actually Adelaide. They were pressing so much in that 10-minute period. They 12 inside 50s for their 3 scoring shots. Melbourne, however, every time they're going down inside forward 50, pretty dangerous, aren't they? 9 inside forward 50, 5 scoring shots. They're going a 60% efficiency around the ground. And, of course, Adelaide just 53. Free kicks are 4-5 at the present time, +1 to Adelaide. Hit-outs the same. Clearances, Melbourne are plus 3. It's 6-1 stoppage clearances Melbourne's way, but Adelaide doing the job out of the centre. 3-1 in the centre clearances. Just looking at the uncontested possession, Melbourne controlling the ball there, 42-25. And that certainly tells you in the marking stats, 24-9 Melbourne's way. In the marking stats. 2-1 though, that's all. Melbourne +1. Just looking at the tackle count, both teams need to lift their tackle count up a little bit. 10-17. Adelaide pretty well on season average there, so going all right. Melbourne just need to lift that. A little bit of pressure as well. But as I said, they have done fantastic in their defensive 50. Melbourne, no tackles inside forward 50. Adelaide 4, so that is fantastic there for them. All right, let's head back down to the commentators. Ryan, I tell you what, it's I don't know who to pick to tip in this game today. It's 50% each of 2. The live poll have got in the live chat. I tell you what, it's hard. My tip was always going to be Adelaide in this game, but Melbourne really surprising. They're doing fantastic. They're looking dangerous at the moment. All right, let's head back down to the ground for the second quarter. And the commentators, which will be starting in just a moment. It's Melbourne by 2 goals.
I think they would be really impressed. They had the first 5 inside 50s before Adelaide even registered 1, and then they obviously had a lot of that ball movement. They had 9 or 10 marks as well before Adelaide could register anything whatsoever. So I think Mixtoneer would be very happy with their start.
It was an animated Matthew Clark at quarter time with the Crows. What do you do if you're Adelaide?
Well, that's a telling sign. I think they've got to leverage their tackles inside 50. They've had the 4 there. It's creating more scoring opportunities for themselves. They actually won the inside 50 count 9-12 in that quarter. So they were able to sort of get the game back on their terms late in that quarter then, but they've just got to generate some scoring opportunities off the back of it.
Melbourne, of course, with all of the momentum at Icon Park, with a preliminary final spot against North Melbourne on the line. The second quarter is getting underway at Icon Park. Can the Crows rein the D's back in? Let's see.
The second semi at Icon Park at 7-on-7. They pile in on top. Umpire comes in, calls for it.
I know we sing the praises of Kate Hoare. It feels like week to week, day to day, but to have your coach there, Mick, just saying thank you for, I guess, her ability to go behind the footy and just be that outlet in defence as well. Just such an amazing player. And there is Eden Zanker. No doubt they would love to have her out on the field today, but missing through concussion protocol.
We'll flip forward by Hoare. Goodwin to Newman. Out into space. It's Hatchard now versus Lampard. They both go to ground. This ball's up for grabs. Swooping in was Goodwin. Run down by Fitzsimon. Affected the kick. Prowse. She's taken down as well. Goodwin wrapped up by McNamara. Melbourne hunting in numbers. McNamara's kick picked off. Good pressure from Newman. Custerman came through. Prowse is there. Takes down Goldrick. Frenetic passage of play. Smothered off the boot of Gillard. Picked off by Marinoff. She blasts at goalward and misses the lock.
This is finals footy, isn't it, Mel? It's just frantic, it's frenetic, it's high pressure, it's everything that you would want. There is Ebony Marinoff, of course, the co-captain, just laying a ripping smother. I believe it's her birthday today as well, Jace.
Happy birthday to Eb, one of the greats across the first 10 seasons of AFLW. And Megan Fitzsimon, what a season she's having and what an impact she's having on this game. To Shelley Heath. Takes a little bit of time to get some structure ahead of the football, then gives it off to the run of Gillard. Didn't get the penetration on the kick she was looking for. It was really good pressure. Hanks to run onto it. Ball spills to Wotherspoon, an impact player. And you can see why there. She finds Gall 45 out. Wotherspoon kept running. It was a great run, and then the kick let her down. From Gall, she put herself in the perfect spot. Cronin to Newman. Quick panic kick goes high. Which way's it going to bounce? Outside 50. Working hard to get there is Ponta. Arrives first. Down the line, that's a great kick to Jones. Prowse is forward, down the line. Lovely kick from Jones. Finds Zoe Prowse. You can see Gould right on 50. There's the hook lead. Comes back at Zoe Prowse. Grace Kelly next in line. That's ignored as well. And now Prowse goes back to the first option of Gould.
Yeah, you can see all the numbers that D's ahead of the ball, so just really clever patience and work rate from Gould to the repeat leads.
Composure is such an important catchphrase in modern footy, but on a day like today you can see why. Prowse goes up in the middle, that comes to Allen, it's going to be paid. Third in line, Jess Allen.
How good was that? I mean, Doc Clark, quarter time, I have no doubt in my mind that he would have gone to the huddle and said, we're doing so much right, but we're just lacking that little piece of composure with the way that we're entering our D50. So look at that passage of play. Ponta to Jones to Prowse, and then finding Jess Allen beautifully.
Started as a spoil, finished as a mark. Only kicked 3 goals in her 58 AFLW games. Now she's got 4. Has she? Just gets it home. Crows back within a kick. Jess Allen forward, back into the ruck. She pushed forward, Pearce went with her opponent. Little fortuitous in the marking contest, but managed to hang on and then went back and kicked it perfectly.
Just such a better build-up there in terms of how they move the ball inside forward 50. It's that ability to get a deeper entry when you know you've got your tools back there that can compete. Obviously, Jess Allen, Prowse, if you kick it to them, if they're not marking it, they're bringing it to ground. So deeper entries to the long targets is going to be a lot better for them.
AFL boss Andrew Dillon watching on from the balcony. Kate Hoare tries to explode away from the stoppage. Marinoff got in the way. Hanks wrapped up by Goodwin. Neve Kelly, nice little spin. Got it to Allen. Jess Allen's kick, up and under. Pitches on the wing. Denby Taylor, can she control it? Coming the other way, Goodwin. We'll speak about improved players. Sarah Goodwin has just gone to another level.
Certainly has. Crucial cog to her side.
Having a great year, averaging 18 touches, 10 of those contested. Handball into space. Hoare against Custerman. Back to Hoare, wrapped up by Tia Charlton. Umpire calls for the football.
Crows have worked really well into this game in terms of taking away some of that space that the D's were able to get early in that first quarter.
He's trying to get it down the hall. There's Goodwin wearing her closely again. Charlton was taken down in the tackle. Heath rather threw it. Guy spotted it. Neve Kelly has the free kick at the back of the square. Working hard out into space, as so often the case, is Ebony Marinoff. Kick towards Prowse. Taylor. Thought she'd done just enough. The late whistle came for the nudge. And the ball comes back to Zoe Prowse, deployed forward. It was a ruck and a utility. Spent some time forward as a junior before settling in defence for the Crows. Marinoff's kick gave Jones very little chance. But now Taylor being sweated on by Eloise Jones, who did really well. Didn't allow the easy exit. Ball up as a result.
We love that from your medium forwards, though. It was a great lead. The kick didn't quite hit her on the chest, but followed up defensively and created another stoppage inside forward 50.
Heath slips away to a one-on-one on the wing. Front spot, Randall against Campbell. Custerman comes away. Touch kick, just a little too much on it for Jess Allen. Picked off by Marinoff. Quick kick towards the pocket. Just running underneath it was Hatchard. Dangerous spot at the back for the D's defence. And Lampard more than happy to see that through.
The Crows are finding space this quarter that they weren't able to find in that first quarter. Able to get a little bit more flow on their ball movement.
Quarter McNamara. D's escape to defensive 50. Wotherspoon creates a bit of space. Game just starting to open up a little.
D's plus 15 in marks as well, plus 16 now. So Adelaide just really need to try and shut that down.
They want to control the tempo for much of this game so far, and it's through their marking. 2 and 1 in the air. Right on, Wotherspoon slices through. McNamara almost run down by Boyle Carr. Kick inside 50, awkward one here for Kelly. McNamara controls it with one hand, gives it off. Mackin, Plaheen, accelerates to 40, pins the ears back, and clips the post.
How often have we seen this? Chelsea Randall just backing back into traffic, knowing that contact is happening. Returned last week, of course, the first time since round 5 with those concussion issues. So it's just so great to see her back dominating with this Adelaide Crows outfit.
5-time winner of the Most Courageous Player Award in the AFLW. And no surprise, one of the bravest we've ever seen. This is Georgia Campbell. Chance for Melbourne to get a repeat entry inside 50. Kick from Campbell, guess who? Right on cue. Randall cuts across the Harris lead. Knew the contact was coming, took the grab.
It's quite remarkable, isn't it, Mel? I mean, you were one of the best defenders in your time in the AFLW competition, but you just marvel at that.
And just the ability to come back in and straight away make an impact last week. She was so crucial behind the ball, and we're seeing it again today.
Marinoff, quick kick towards the wing. D's have got the numerical advantage. Gould's going to have to fight on here, and does well. Put enough pressure on Campbell to miss the handball. Grace Kelly's lightning fast. She'll back herself to run away from Taylor here. Kelly will look up, will bend it towards Hatchard. That is a perfect kick. Kelly's kept on running. She'll receive. D's defence went to sleep. Oh, Grace can't make them pay.
Wow, how good is that from Grace Kelly? Just a little socker. She's got wheels, as you said, Jace. The touch on that kick, you cannot sleep on that. It was just weighted to perfection to Anne Hatchard and then kept running for the give and go.
D's dodged the bullet there. Fitzsimon to the wing. Ball versus Bedell. Bedell with the body strength. And now the inside support. Kaylee Cronin. Kick from Cronin. Went looking and finding Neve Kelly, but she set Prowse up with a handball. Nowhere for Zoe to go. Paxman grits the teeth. Bannon needs to get more involved. Allen's got her wrapped up.
Crows are just working harder at the moment. They're making the ground big. They're spreading. Grace Kelly typified that there earlier with the second and third effort.
It's the one touch so far for Bannon, averaging 10 a game this season. Hatchard, a little accidental spiral. Paxi versus Boyle Carr. Run by Boyle Carr, towards half forward. Ponta's got to get there, and does. She's immediately wrapped up by Taylor. Good tackle. Didn't infringe.
Jace, just an update from Melbourne's bench. Ruck Lauren Pearce is off at the moment with ice on her right eye. She copped a nasty knock to the eye. It's already blue and black. So I'll keep an eye on her and whether she actually takes part in this game again.
Keep an eye on her. Thanks, Nat. Appreciate it. Kick towards the pocket. Gould takes the grab. There is Lauren Pearce. D's already one tall short with Zanka not out there this afternoon.
Has blown up already, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's a real concern. Gould. Can she launch from there? From 48. Attacks the goal square. Hatchard. Charlton! Goal! Gould's kick to the square was just far enough out. Melbourne didn't kill it. It spills over the back, and Adelaide had all the players heading towards the goal line. D's with no one back there, and the Crows are in front for the first time this afternoon. Don't the little things become big things in finals?
They certainly do, Jason. You just see the D's defence come together as soon as this goal happened because they absolutely lapsed on the line. There was nobody deep. It was a great kick from Gould just to a really dangerous spot. The centre of that goal square, and Charlton just run on beautifully and socketed that one through. Mixton
here with a stern look on his face. His side gives up the lead for the first time this afternoon. Here's Mackin. O'Hare. Shrug the tackle. Floats the kick inside 50. Great courage from Neve Kelly going back. And wins the football. Gets it to Mueller. Adelaide on top right now. O'Hare with some acceleration. Links up with Harris. It was touched, was it? It was in the end.
Jace Lauren Pearce is now back on the ground, but has a nasty shiner on that right eye.
Look at that courage from Neve Kelly. Umpires are coming together. Sarah Allen saying Harris handballed it out on the full. Umpires are saying it was actually touched after it left Taylor's hand on the way through, so it will be a throw in.
The Crows have really fought back this midfield in this quarter. They're +3 for clearances after being beaten pretty heavily in that first.
Lauren Pearce with that air gun to the right eye. Mackin. The centre half forward. McNamara will come over the top. Great Mark Boyle-Carr. Playing a real important role down back at the moment and through the middle of the ground. This is Gould. Adelaide running in waves at the moment. They're on top in this game right now. Gould's kick to half forward. Good body use from Ponter, and then brilliant defence from Goldrick, the outstretched hand.
The inside 50s, Jason, this quarter 6-5. So Melbourne have certainly had their opportunities. A lot of shallow entries, yes, for the one behind, but Adelaide from their 6 entries, 2 goals, 2. So they're just really capitalising on their efforts inside.
Yeah, they flipped the script from the first quarter, haven't they? Really, Adelaide had lots of entries that were shallow and couldn't score from them. Made a good adjustment. McNamara, Heath. Here's some run away from the congestion. Hoare on the burst. Will kick towards centre half forward. Coming out to meet it was Bedell. Bannon managed to get a 50-50 in there. No penetration on the kick. It's picked off by Mueller, who bends it across the body back towards the wing. Grace Kelly and Denby Taylor go at it. Hoare there as well. Boylo involved also. Quick kick from Grace Kelly to a one-on-one. Good strong work there from Ebert. She'll look to switch play. O'Hare can look up. She's got Bannon working hard for it, centre half forward, but that kick just misses the target. Went straight to the advantage of Bedell. You can bend it across the body. Mark taken by Marinoff.
Hasn't Bedell had some massive wins this quarter? Just owning that front spot and reading the play.
Marinoff's kick a good one to Hatchard, old partner in crime. Haven't they done some damage over the years, that combination? Left behind by Ponter, tidied up by O'Hare. Mackin's quick kick back towards the middle. Custerman against Fitzsimon. Lincoln sockers it through looking for Bannon. But Goodwin got there first. Randall. Tackle from Fitzsimon. Affected the kick. Bounces towards the line. Newman wants to try and get there. She took O'Hare down. We're not in possession. Play on the call. Mackin's kick back to half forward. Harris takes it in the hands. No one at all inside 50s, you can see. Bannon the only option. Provides a short one, but watch the high side of the ground. McNamara's drifting back there. Bedell prevents it once again.
Wow. How good was that mark?
McNamara was sneaking down the far side to try and get him behind the defence. And Bedell cut it off.
Insane.
Great grab. Could have been a goal saver. Grace Kelly's kick to the wing finds Rashid. Working hard is Prowse. He's got a couple of metres on Gillard, and the kick was perfect. Now Prowse is going to get a 50. Got a shove from Gillard. And this will bring Zoe Prowse within about 15 metres of goal. As I mentioned, as a junior, she spent a bit of time forward. She was a ruck and a utility. Here's another look. What do you make of it, ladies?
That is not 50 metres. I'm sorry, Jace. I'm going to be very direct there, but Zoe Prowse looked as though she kind of just tripped over at the same time.
She's kicked 3 goals in her 47 AFLW games. This to give the Crows a handy little buffer. She does. 7-point game. Zoe Prowse, the second goal of the season, the 4th of her career. Deployed forward this afternoon, and Matthew Clark would be delighted to see her hit the scoreboard. It's been a really good response from Adelaide. After Melbourne kicked the first 2 goals of the game, the Crows have kicked 4 of the last 5.
We're going to take another look at this smell, Hickey. What are your immediate thoughts? I've made mine very clear. And in saying that, the umpires are far more qualified than I ever will be.
Yeah, I'm definitely not an umpire, but I just think it's finals footy. You don't want it to be, touchy. That's pretty soft in terms of, after the ball. Not that late either.
Lauren Pearce looks like she's gone 10 rounds with Sky Nicholson. That eye is really blowing up. Ed Marinoff kicked to half forward. Ebert didn't complete the grab. Pressure now on Melbourne really for the first time. Scoreboard pressure because the Crows have made a move. Goldrick to Kate Hall. Thought about the give, but that was covered.
Tyler Hanks, I feel like she hasn't seen a lot of the ball today.
Reversal free kick. There's a hold further down the field off the ball. So it's coming back to the position of greatest advantage to Adelaide, which means Jess Allen has it just forward of the centre. Kick floats inside 50, through some fingertips. Rashid, Ponta, over the top. Neve Kelly, open goal. Crows are rolling. Melbourne defence called out. Free kick reversed in the middle of the ground for a hold further down the field. Allen's kick floats inside. A chain of handballs from 2 of the most creative forwards in Rashid and Ponta. And no one's catching Neve Kelly running in on open goal.
Well, Melbourne's defence were caught out here because of the reversal. So just take a look, centre of the screen, Paxman on Kelly. Once again, was there much in that one? Not entirely sure, but at the end of the day, it was Kelly that went forward and kicked that goal.
March and suddenly 13 points. Now it's Melbourne that need to stabilise and have a bit of composure and get some time in possession with the football. Because the Crows have got a sniff here. Jones, Neve Kelly, another attack, and Lampard takes the grab. And Mel, this is where their senior players just need to take control for the D's.
Yeah, they do a bit of deja vu from last week where Brisbane piled on 3 goals to nothing in the second quarter, and Mick Stadium was really disappointed that they didn't have a response when challenged. So time for Hanks, Wall, Harris to step up.
And here to Hanks, here's a front and centre for Heath. Nothing at all to kick to inside 50. Goes for a run, has a runner to the outside. Can use McNamara, slight fumble. Another one, has time, and it just slowed up the attack. It should still work for Gall. She doesn't take the grab, flips it on. Heath kept coming, keeps it alive to the top of the square. Wotherspoon in a dangerous position here. Can they close it down? Handball over the top. Marnie, can she go on her left? She can! Melbourne get one back. Critical goal. Maggie Marnie gets her second. Dodges and bobs and weaves. Avoids the obstacles and kicks her second goal.
And this is the response that we had to have from the D's. They had to fight back. And just brilliant in terms of being able to get the ball just rolling forward, keep the momentum going, keep the ball alive. And a couple of fumbles, wasn't perfect at all, but Marnie with a quick step.
Abs, but seeing the importance of finals football, the ability to steady yourself, show some composure and fight back to prevent a run on against you. It's just so critical. We're seeing Melbourne do it right now.
Certainly is, and that was a much-needed goal for the D's, and they worked that one beautifully. I mean, Gaul made it hard for them, but they worked through it well.
And just like that, the momentum swings. Adelaide did such a super job absorbing pressure early. Big grinding tackle from Hall. Smashes Marinoff into the Icon Park turf. Newman to half forward. We've got ourselves a hot semi-final. Kick goes inside 50. One-on-one contest. Spoil from the back was great on Lampard. Ponta came in, laid the tackle. We've got ourselves a great game.
Oh my goodness. Let's take a look at this. The two number 10s go head-to-head. The two skippers of their side. There is so much heat. There is so much feeling. The players know that there is no tomorrow here this afternoon.
Hanks to Goldrick. Quick kick out of congestion. McNamara marks in front of Newman. Peels away. Harris goes down in the middle of the ground. Good body use from Cronin. Got rid of Fitzsimon, took the grab. Hayley Cronin, 6th game of AFLW, the Irish woman from County Kerry. Driving herself well.
Both teams need to limit the amount of score that happens in this last 90 seconds.
Newman's kick cut off by Taylor. We saw Melbourne kick a goal right on quarter time. Both teams will be on high alert to prevent that. Taylor to Taylor through the hands of Harris. Customer at the back, wrapped up. Marnie and Fitzsimon. You could just sense Melbourne lifting after Adelaide found another gear. D's have responded. Charlton to half forward. Up goes Rashid in the hand. What a player she is. Huge future. Rashid and Ponta in the one forward line. 55 out. Sets it up for Ponta. There she is. Free kick. And Danielle Ponta can re-establish a 13-point lead. She can kick just before the siren. Here's another look.
Oh, what a huge one-on-one grab here. You can see the D's had their extra number back. Kate Hall goes back and tries to clog the hole, but just reads it better.
Just the forward craft there as well. The body work just to lose the defender and slot in between the two.
It's been a deadly finisher over the years, but kicked 8-13 this season and characteristically wayward, but this from directly in front. She makes no mistake, and the Crows re-establish their buffer right on half-time. It was Melbourne with a goal in the quarter-time siren, and Adelaide have answered the bell. Super second term from the Crows. They kicked 5 goals 2 to Melbourne's 1 goal 1 and put the 12-point deficit and turned it into a 13-point lead at the major break.
What an electric contest we have underway at Icon Park. Half-time in this AFLW semi-final. The Adelaide Crows, what a resurgence in that second term to lead the Melbourne Demons by 13 points. We will be back right here, AFLW Finals on Fox, with all of the half-time analysis shortly. We'll see you very, very soon. What a match we have.
All right, folks. Well, exactly what Melbourne didn't want, and that was Adelaide kicking a goal on the halftime siren. I tell you what, that was a quarter and a half by Adelaide, putting on 5 goals, 2 in that second term. Melbourne could only manage 1 goal 1. Of course, Melbourne went into quarter time leading by 12 points, but Adelaide turned that game around. Now lead by 13 points at half time. Avro, how you doing? Welcome in. Tell you what, that was a great display of football from the Adelaide Crows. They're looking strong. Melbourne looking a little bit shaky now. I thought after all that play Adelaide had 3/4 away through that second term, when Melbourne put that goal on the board just to steady the ship, it's exactly what they wanted. But they certainly didn't want Adelaide to kick that goal on the siren, getting the margin back out to 13 points. You don't want to give Adelaide too much of a lead here. They are a ring-a-ding-ding good side, I'll tell you what, the Adelaide Crows. All right, let's go and have a look at the goal scorers up until half-time. There was a few goals being put on there. We've got a few goal scorers in this game today, and of course, leading the way out there at the moment, only multiple goal scorer is Maggie Mahoney from Melbourne. She's kicked 2, and Kate Hall and Megan Fitzsimon, the single goal scorers there for Melbourne. Well, for Adelaide Crows, all singles, and there's plenty of them. Zoe Prowse, Daniel Ponta, Neem Kelly, Caitlin Gould, Tia Charlton, and Jess Allen, all single goal scorers there for the Adelaide Crows, which are looking really good today. Let's have a look at the disposal count out there at the moment. Tell you what, we've got the votes in so far. We've got Melbourne at 60%. The live chat thinks going to win. 40% for the Adelaide Crows. And tell you what, she's a close game. This game could still turn on its head. Ebony Marinoff, though, leads the way out there on disposal count with 15. She's having a good game there for Adelaide Crows. 13 kicks. She loves to kick. 2 handballs, 5 marks, 4 tackles, and the clearance. All she needs is a goal. And she'll be having a fantastic game. Elizabeth McNamara, the best out there for Melbourne, and second on the table with 12. She's had 8 kicks, 4 handballs, 2 marks, a tackle, 2 clearances. Neen Kelly for the Adelaide Crows on 11. She's kicked a goal with 9 kicks, 2 handballs, 3 clearances. So she's going really well. Kate Hall also with a goal after 11 disposals, 9 kicks, 6 marks. So she's marking the ball really, really well. Let's just roll on down there. Grace Kelly, what a name. There we go. She's had 10 touches there for Adelaide. Sarah Lampard also with 10 and Mackin 10 for Adelaide. They're the only girls out there on double figures up until half time. I tell you what, it's a fantastic game. They've got some skill, these teams out here today. The only thing I could notice out there as I just roll down the board here, Zoe Prowse on 6 disposals with that. Maggie Mahoney, 6 disposals, 4 kicks. As I said, 2 goals for Maggie. There we go. Daniel Ponta with 5. Paxi Paxman, she's just had the 5 touches there for Melbourne. 3 kicks, 2 handballs. Needs to get into the game a little bit more as we roll on down. There we go. Just looking at the team stats, I know we did have Melbourne leading in quarter-time disposal count. Well, Adelaide's pinned that back a little bit. They're only 4 ahead now, Melbourne, on disposal count. Adelaide's still doing the job, going inside forward 50. As I said, they are pressing. 24 inside 50s for 10 scoring shots. Melbourne, 17 inside 50s for 7 scoring shots. Doing all right, Melbourne, when they go inside forward 50. Just can't quite get it in there enough. I just want to have a look at the tackle count before. Free kicks, Adelaide getting it all today. 8 free kicks to 4, certainly going their way. I just want to have a little bit of a look at the tackle count. Tackle count have lifted a little bit for Melbourne. They need to continue to press on their tackle count, put pressure on Adelaide. 27-32, Adelaide +5, but the tackle's inside 50. Adelaide crunching Melbourne. 7-1 in the marks inside forward 50. All right, let's head back down to the commentators for a bit of analysis on the opening half.
At Icon Park is absolutely on a knife's edge. Both teams high pressure, but it was that moment from Charlton, wasn't it, that really kick-started the Crows. It was 5-2 for them to Melbourne's 1-1 in that second term to wrest back that momentum.
Yeah, they did. I mean, the first quarter was probably in Melbourne's favour, I would say, but that second quarter, I mean, Adelaide came out to play. We know Doc Clark sort of pulled him in quite early at that quarter-time huddle to give him a bit of a rev up, and that he did an excellent job off the back of that because they go on to kick 5 goals. Zoe Prowse, Danielle Ponta, these players get involved in the game, and they were pretty dominant throughout, but Melbourne, some players probably need to stand up from their behalf.
They definitely do, and there were 2 in particular for me as well that, 2 of those goals that came from Adelaide were from free kicks. Now, I sit here and a little bit disappointed because I think the umpires were inserting themselves on the game. As you take a look at them, there wasn't a lot in them for my liking, and these are killer moments as a team when momentum happens. So you see this one from Gillard, where there's a little bit of a push on Zoe Prowse, and then there's been given a 50-metre penalty. She slots a goal from that. My opinion, it's not there. And I think that moment as well, it then shifted the momentum. Another one here, Karen Paxman, or Paxi Paxman, pushed Callie as she's tried to give her a shove. Again, not there. So 2 goals back-to-back that came that should not have been there. For me, though, Melbourne, we did speak about who needs to stand up. So there's a couple of players, Paxi, Tyler Hanks has both only had the 5 disposals. Alyssa Bannon also had a few opportunities to collect the ball, get involved, but she's only had the 2. So I think there's a few key players for them that need to stand up. They're getting a bit of attention. Try and get the ball out the back. What Adelaide are doing really well is their defensive unit have been set up exceptionally well. Bedell's already had 5 intercept possessions. Cronin's back there, got running, from the midfield too. She's had the 4. And then, Randall and Noffy have also had a really key impact impact defensively.
You better be hoping the umpires don't vote on your mark of the year that's coming up. She's well and truly
I love the umpires.
put them on notice, but you're right, they were front and square, of course, in that second term. One player who was, of course, front and square is none other than Ebony Marinoff. We talk about her so much, and this is pretty much exactly why. It is her birthday today, and I tell you what, she is getting her just desserts at the moment. 15 disposals, 13 of those kicks, 4 tackles and 5 marks. She is just an absolute contested beast, isn't she, and could be the difference.
Yeah, she is, and it's just her ability to continuously work. I mean, she's just such a competitor. I think it's the meters gained for me, so she's getting such leverage on her kicks and her disposals that's covering so much of the ground, which is allowing Adelaide to move forward. She's had the 4 inside 50s to her name, and then had a little moment and a little tussle as well with Kate Hall off the back of this tackle. We love the fiery spirit between these two players. They're two leaders that just want to win the game for their team.
It just goes to show how hot this contest is. Of course, the second half is coming up. The first of 2 AFLW semi-finals today right here on Fox. Hawthorn taking on Carlton at Icon Park tonight, the second from 7 p.m. tonight. What a treat. We can't wait. Join us.
Harris into the ruck, gets the tap. Heath came in from the back. Hanks wins the football, tried to get it to Harris. Allen paddled to advantage, flipped out by Ponta, off the hands of Paxman. Heath put her body in, Goodwin over the top. Umpire said illegally.
Already a change there from the D's, and Harris is into the ruck, and Lauren Pearce has gone to full forward.
Here's Harris, tries to break a tackle. Slip from Hall. Heath to half forward, cut off by Mueller. Back from whence it came. Harris will come at the front, good strong grab.
Just more energy around the footy. We know how much of a competitive beast Taylor Harris is, so looking for a lift in that area of the ground.
Penetration on the kick, off the hands of Gall. Cronin, quick kick to defensive 50. Ponta couldn't control it, but Taylor slapped it straight to her. And away goes Grace Kelly. Goes for a run, confronted by Goldrick. Turns it over to Taylor. Heath. Gillard. To half forward. McNamara can come over the top of Newman. Gall, stripped of it by Randall. Newman drew a crowd, gave it to Goodwin. Marinoff. Mueller, well done, Hanks. Smothered off the boot. And then they take it to the line for a throw-in as we head to Nat.
Yes, Jace, just one player to watch for the Ds is Tyler Hanks. He's only had just the 5 touches for this game and was doing some touch work in the middle of that second term, and I wonder if maybe she's carrying something, or maybe Abby and Mel, maybe it's more of a confidence issue given she hasn't seen much of the ball, and she's such an important cog for Melbourne in that midfield.
Well, that was a big smother right there in front of you, Nat, as well, so different ways to try and inject yourself into the contest.
Harris from the ruck, from 50 out, launches it long, no problem with the distance, just faded right. Tyler Hanks averaging 24 touches a game this season. Had 6 so far in the game. It's a 2-kick game now. Bedell to the city side, or pretty much straight up the middle as it turns out. Mueller, Marinoff off the knee, back towards Mueller, surrounded by D's. Nowhere to go. This inside battle is going to be critical. Generally Melbourne's forte, Adelaide more than matching them at the moment. Ponta, Newman, pursued by McNamara. Kick on the turn, here's Heath. What a start to the third turn she's made. Will energise the bunny for Melbourne, as is McNamara. 2 of the real engine starters. That kick not great, cut off by Jones. Cut across in front of Hanks, and Eloise Jones waits for a bit of structure forward of the football, which Ponta now provides. McNamara looked to get back on coverage and corral Danielle Ponta, who turns and delivers inside 50. Gould won't get there. Good spoil in the Taylor direction. She doesn't hit a target, and it's going to cost them possession.
Melbourne have already come out with that intention to move the ball quicker and more directly. Got a score, so they need to go direct, straight through the middle.
Ed Marinoff, 18th touch for Ebony Marinoff. Well done, Goldrick. One-on-one against Grace Kelly.
That was a missed kick there from Ebony Marinoff, was looking to Caitlin Gould, who was coming through with a great lead up along the boundary line.
It's the one weakness in Eb's game, kicking efficiency at just 46%. All those admittedly under pressure. Sarah Allen gives a bit of height inside 50. Harris up in the middle of the pack. We saw Mel a couple of weeks ago against Geelong. She played much higher up the ground, had a huge impact on the game, and Melbourne decided that's what they need so far in this second half.
Oh, she's just such a contested marking beast, and you do want her around the ball. She hasn't had a lot of involvement in the first half, so why not put her in the ruck and get her more involved?
Heath runs away from Goodwin, but then she turns over the kick. Bedell takes the grab.
That's not it. Just once again, that composure piece and that connection and the link inside 50. Taylor Harris, just the start to this third term, has just injected such intensity around the footy. 4 disposals already and a couple of really strong grabs, and there is Chelsea Randall once again with that courageous attack.
What a great grab. Jess Allen floats across in front of Lauren Pearce, takes the mark, 65 from goal. Jones offers the short. Instead, a wind-up high kick into the middle of the pack. Gould lost it. Gillard found it. Taylor's kick set McNamara a task. Newman there as well. McNamara tries to spin away, just finds her boot. Ball bounces outside 50. Fitzsimon was slick. Off to Denby Taylor. Goal at the back. Well done, Harris over the top. Ball spills. Cronin, Randall, back to Cronin, squeezes the kick. Marinoff in the air against Fitzsimon. D's player down. Hall to Paxman. Now to Fitzsimon. She can look up. She's got Wotherspoon. Wotherspoon can hold at 50. She's got a one-on-one. It's Bannon versus Padel. Bannon's going to have the speed and agility. The kick is good. Alyssa Bannon right on her range. It's a wide open goal square. Adelaide will get numbers back now. This will take Alyssa Bannon's best.
Such a clever kick because Bannon against Bedell. Bedell was going to win the contested mark if she was going to try to wrestle with her. So just that little bit out in front to advantage and let her use her speed.
Alyssa Bannon kicked 9 goals, 12 this season. After being so accurate the previous 2 years, she kicked 23-7 in the previous 2 seasons. This to make it a one-kick game. From 45 out. Gives it a ride. It's going to drop short and harmlessly over the line.
It was better from the D's in their build-up, just more methodical in their approach. As I said, that tick lead was always going to come from Bannon. She certainly didn't want to be in a wrestle with Chelsea Bedell, so you described it beautifully, Bell. It was well weighted into space.
Randall straight up the middle. Bounce beat Marnie, that was really clever. Got it to Hall. Mackin's got some work to do. McNamara immediately tackled. Crunch by Newman. Hall tries to shovel it out. Pressure came from Charlton. Socket forward by Grace Kelly. Low down ball for Prowse. Keeping her feet was Taylor. Into the middle of the ground. Here's Heath again. Scurries away. That kick not to advantage. It's over the back. Marinoff should get there first. Clever. Slapped it to Neve Kelly. Not the best kick from Neve, but it might work out okay for Hatchard. Heath's there. Hatchard versus Heath. Old-fashioned one-on-one on the wing. It's still there. Umpire's letting them work it out. Heath just kept on going, wins the day for the D's. Paxman, Fitzsimon, shrugs a tackle, looks up, delivers inside 50. At the front was Gall. Goodwin there, couldn't control it. McNamara picks it up, sockers it forward in the end. Cronin should get on the end of it and does for Adelaide. Gives the kick a bit of height. And allowed Denby Taylor to slap it away from Kelly. One-on-ones all over the field at the moment. D's win another one. Taylor gets it. Marnie gets past Boyle Carr. Delivery inside 50. Almost goal. Here's Hall onto the left. Uses Mackin for the finish. Great team goal from the D's. Melbourne back within 5 points. Critical goal. It wasn't pretty. They got there in the end. Laheen Mackin kicks her first of the season, and what a timely one.
And this is what finals are won on, is these big one-on-ones. It's not the big marks, it's not the goals, it's these big one-on-one moments. And Heath was just able to keep her feet, keep engaged in the contest. And then Denby Taylor on this close swing as well before, just the spoil and the follow-up was brilliant.
Good response from Melbourne, and we're back to a 5-point game. 2 evenly matched teams. Mackin's first goal of the season makes it a 5-point game. Fitzsimon against Charlton, coming in off the wing hard was Boyle Carr. Boylo there as well. Fitzsimon socket forward, Bannon slick hands. Paxman found some space, snaps it inside 50. Working hard to get there is Gall, who's providing some important contest. Campbell at the back, wrapped up by Allen, and just dropped the football. Free kick to the Crows, co-captain.
We spoke about the inside game being crucial in this second half. It is an area, of course, that Melbourne have prided themselves on for a number of years, but they've lifted in that area. They're up in contested footy, they're up in clearance, and it's showing with the way that they can get the footy forward.
Hatchard, such a strong mark for a midfielder. It's always been a major strength. Taylor's handball a little light on, but Hanks made it good. Kick to O'Hare, who copped a heavy one from Allen. Both players going at it, arrived at the same time. Harris to half forward. forward. Off the hands. Where's the spillage go? Allen towards the line and or Cronin. Cronin commits the body, went straight at it. Marnie, toe pokes. Hatchard, Randall. Now Custerman. Kick partly smothered by Mackin. Spoilt to ground. Goldrick's got a couple to deal with. She's swamped. The umpire will call it back for an Adelaide ball.
What a great response from Prowse. It was Crow's time to respond. Melbourne getting the momentum. Just a huge tackle.
Game on the line in this third term. Adelaide by 5 points.
And Neve Kelly's hurt her ankle here. She's just coming off the ground for Adelaide.
Thanks, Nat. Keep an eye on that. Hatchard run down by Saray Taylor. Boyle Clark straight into Paxman. Mackin tries to get Boyle Clark and does. Boyle Clark rather. The two Irish women go at it. And Blaheen wins this one. To the wing. Campbell spoils. That was important because it got it down into the path of Paxman. Now to Hanks. Melbourne with a bit of momentum building. Hanks inside 50. It's brought away from Hall. Still some work to do here for Newman. Kate Hall from the boundary. She's a wizard! Kate Hall kicks her second. No one better at the game in AFLW kicking those dribble goals from the angle. She's just made it a staple of her craft. She kicks her second and the D's are back in front.
This is a big tackle laid by Mackin at the other end of the ground, but wowee, what did we see from the Demon skipper right here? Tied up on the boundary, as easy as you see. Kate Hall putting her side back in front, just lifting 17 disposals, got a couple of goals, just answers for her side.
So it's over to the Crows. Here's Prowse. As I mentioned, a ruck as a junior has gone in there in this third term. Now it's up to Adelaide to respond in a game of swinging momentum. Everything you want from a cutthroat final. Newman's handball. She was dealt with afterwards, which releases the pressure because Boylo was outnumbered. So a chance here for Adelaide to just gather themselves after Melbourne built over the last 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, Melbourne have just been going long, direct, through the corridor when they can. Just simplified their footy, deep entries.
Hatchard having an influence, pushing up the ground as a marking option. Got another one, and then a beautiful kick. Look at that, just weighted nicely for Charlton. Any more and Gillard could have got to it. Charlton's kick. Rashid clean. Mueller's handball, not ideal for Gould, but it might work here. The link up. Well done, Fitzsimon. Came from the blind side. You got Newman. Mueller kept it going for the Crows. Gould puts her body in, as does Charlton, and Melbourne managed to hold it up.
Oh, just the pressure now from the D's. They're just making the Crows make mistakes. Easy handballs, missing targets. Adelaide are under pressure everywhere around the ground now.
Ebbs and flows between two good teams, as you'd expect. Kick from Heath towards the line, and we've spoken about the importance of resilience in finals, Mel, the ability to take some shots when you're on the ropes yourself and then turn that into attack. We're seeing both sides do that right now.
Yeah, and it's been the leaders that have stepped up. We've seen Kate Hall this quarter in particular. Harris go in there and into the ruck and really take the game by the hands.
Marinoff's got a couple to battle with. Fitzsimon, the primary protagonist. Well done, Ed. Somehow comes back, somehow she finds her boot, but out of bounds on the full Melbourne ball.
I'd like to see that shape by hand that they got going that second quarter, the Crows. That really worked for them. They can get that ball out to a kicker then that's in a little bit more space.
So as Nat mentioned a little earlier, Neve Kelly out of the action right now. We'll get an update from Nat when she has some more news. McNamara's kicked down the line, spoiled away by Allen, got it clear of Pearce, now to Prowse. Just off the side of her boot, but it could have worked for Rashid. Hanks did enough. Ebert's handball picked off by Marinoff. Shapes the kick to half forward. Good body use from Ponta on Taylor. Here's Rashid again. Snaps inside 50, finds Gould. Caitlin's within range if she takes her time and goes back here. No one's in the goal square at all. She's spotted that now. So from 35 out, just misses. Maybe a touch rush. There's an Adelaide player down at the forward 50. So play will be held up here. Ebony Marinoff, is it? Try and get a good look here. No, it's Danielle Ponta. Just copped one. So as we mentioned, Nat, Neve Kelly, just give us another update on Neve's situation, because now they might be 2 down.
Yeah, they might be, but luckily Neve Kelly has just come back on the ground. She tested out that right ankle. She's a little bit sore, but good to go, given the all clear from the physio as Danielle Ponta comes off the field here, and that doesn't look good at all. So in the hands of the doctor and the trainer at the moment. I do hope she'll be able to come back on the ground, but Neve Kelly's all clear.
Jeez, Neve Kelly must have very, very rubbery ligaments, because that looked nasty.
It looked very nasty, didn't it? There is Danielle Ponta, just so crucial around the footy, yes, but also the craft that she offers inside their forward half. So it's good to see her able to put weight through that left leg now. We'll take another look. Yeah, so just the outside of the left ankle there. So fingers crossed, it'll just be a tape job.
Scores level with 4 to play in the 3rd term. Prowse, Marinoff drew a crowd, gave it off to Neve Kelly, straight back into the action. Hort just floated on Kate a little bit. Gould, Heath wraps her up, and generally when Shelley wraps you up, you stay wrapped up.
We spoke about leaders lifting. We've seen Ebony Marinoff in the last couple of minutes really lift her work rate. 6 disposals for the quarter.
Pierce's tap was perfect for O'Hare, but she couldn't take it cleanly. Charlton straight-lined it. Boylo in a one-on-one battle. It's flipped in the Kate Hore direction. Back behind the footy late in the quarter again. Dragged down off the kick, and now it's Adelaide. As Danielle Ponta goes down the race, it's Adelaide turning the screws and putting the heat on the D's. Scores level. Kelly to 55. Makes really good contact on the kick. Hatchard in great position. Goldrick at the back. Swallowed up by Eloise Jones. Umpire said too high. Free kick to the D's. Dying stages of this 3rd term. Here's another look. Goldrick clipped by Eloise Jones.
Eloise Jones never far away from a bit of push and shove.
Goldrick's kick. One-on-ones everywhere at the moment. Forward of the footy. Randall taken down by Gall. Adelaide now with a couple of players set well back behind the football. Bedell, and then on the inside it's Newman. You can see Newman there just to the right of your screen up in the top right corner. You've got Bedell about 20 metres behind every other player down the line. So they're trying to cover all angles should Melbourne happen to win this clearance. For us, the instructions from the boundary line. Matthew Clark. Charlton, quick kick. It's picked off by Lampard. So Adelaide have got coverage where they need it. Can Melbourne run their way through? They're going to have to chip it. That's what Hall identifies, but it makes life tough for O'Hare. Marinoff closes the net. Boylo runs into Mackin. Hanks the beneficiary. Down the line. Wotherspoon one-on-one. Numbers now arrive. She's got 2 others to deal with. Bedell. And there are those numbers that were so well set up behind the football come into play now. Marinoff's kick towards half forward. Neve Kelly's going to get run down. Has to release it to Charlton. She's surrounded. Heath, Mackin look out. Boylo wraps her up. And Mel, both teams with numbers behind the football. So when you get it, there's not a lot of time to use it.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably too early for the Crows to go super defensive. They still need to score. So you need to be aware of where your spare player is and then use them on attack as well.
Prowse couldn't get through the traffic. Pete's handball gathered in by McNamara, Ebert, and they work it to the outside. The D's, they did that well with the chain of handballs. Goldrick to half forward. Wotherspoon almost falling backwards. Gall's got to create a contest here. Clever toe poke. Sarah Allen. Marinoff. Bedell got a horrible bounce. Mueller to Bedell. Can gather it in the second time. Doesn't panic. Floats a handball. Neve Kelly drew a crowd. And they worked that well. Got it to Sarah Allen. Down the line to Hatchard. And that's great football from Adelaide. A potentially disastrous situation turned around. Hatchard to half forward. Thundering out was Jones. Saray Taylor. Pearce. Goldrick to half forward. They'll have coverage at the back again, the Crows. Marnie to try and put pressure on Bedell. Stood up with strength. Gall a fumble. Mueller wrapped up by Wotherspoon.
Just love to see Dees equalise that spare, not let the Crows have Bedell sit back there and pick it off.
No space, D's! Hear the instructions from the bench, no space D's, coming from the Melbourne coaching staff. Neve Kelly's kick to the middle, 2-on-1, and the one kept her feet. Rashid was brilliant. Could something come of this? D's have got all the numbers back at the moment. Horse 25 metres at the back by herself. So Neve Kelly's going to look up and either try to get within range. She won't. Gillard, the fullback, runs her down. Outstanding, Talia Gillard.
That is huge from Gillard. Neve Kelly will always back herself in to tuck the footy under the arm, take grass, and have a look at goal in that situation. So that was a massive goal-saving tackle there.
And we head to the final change, all square. 6-5 apiece, 1 quarter to play in the cutthroat semi-final. The stakes could not be higher. And speaking of high stakes, coming up this summer, they don't get any higher. It's the Ashes on 7.
All right, there we go, folks. I tell you what a ring-a-ding-ding third quarter that was. Adelaide just putting on one behind Melbourne, though. Coming out of the gates in that third term, they must have refreshed after half time, reinvigorated, and tell you what, they came out with ferocity in that third term, kicking 2 goals, 2. 6-5, 41 apiece. It's all tied up. Who's going to go on to next week's semi-final? That is going to be the question. We've only got 20 minutes of football left for one of these teams, and we're going to find out who's going on. I tell you what, could we end up with a draw and then extra time? That's going to be an interesting game. We're going to find out. Both teams are out there playing their best football, giving it their best. I tell you what, there's going to be big disappointment for whoever loses this game, but it's going to be great delight for whoever wins, because both teams are playing really good football today. Kicking accurate, doing some miraculous things out there. But I'll tell you what, 6-5, 41 apiece. This is anybody's game. I'm just looking at the live chat. We've still got Melbourne at 60%. The good folks in the live chat thinking Melbourne are going to win. Of course, we only got 2 goals in that third term. Let's go and have a look at the goal scorers up until three-quarter time. We've got 2 multiples, and of course they come from Melbourne. Maggie Mahoney and Kate Hall both with 2 goals each. Mackin's got a single, and Fitzsimon's got a single for Melbourne. Of course, for Adelaide Crows, all singles. Zoe Prowse, Ponta, Kelly, Caitlin Gould, Charlton, Allen. They are your single goal scorers. Getting some high numbers up here for Ebony Marinoff. She's having a ring-a-ding-ding game there for Adelaide. 24 disposals out on the ground, the only one in the 20s, and leading by 5. 24 disposals, 18 kicks, 6 handballs, 5 marks, 5 tackles, a clearance. Tell you what, she's given it her all. Next best for Melbourne, McNamara and Kate Hoare and Shelley Heath, all on 19 disposals apiece for those 3 girls. Neen Kelly going all right, 18 there for Adelaide Crows. Lampard on 14 for Melbourne, with Mackin and Fitzsimon on 13 also. Chelsea Biddle on 13 there for the Crows. Let me just roll down here, because we're going to head back to the action in just a moment, folks. Tell you what, we've got a cracking game here. Jess Allen there, she's had 7 disposals. The rock girl there for Adelaide. 7 disposals, 5 kicks, 2 handballs, 2 marks, 1 tackle, 11 hit-outs and 1 goal. And of course for Melbourne's Lauren Pearce, she's just had the 4 disposals, all handballs. She's had a tackle and a mark, of course, 1 clearance, 10 hit-outs for her as well. Tell you what, folks, who's going to win this? Whose team are you tipping? Who do you barrack for? This is football final. This is what finals football is all about. And of course, we've got a fantastic game here at Icon Park. Still about 21 degrees. So it's a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Melbourne. Loving footy. Of course, we've got this game. We've got another game following there on this evening. And of course, that is the second semi-final between Hawthorn and Carlton. And then next week we'll go into the prelims, of course. A couple of the teams, North Melbourne and one of the other teams. I just can't quite remember who the other team. I think it's Brisbane. That's right. Kangaroos and Brisbane, waiting to see who they'll play to go into the grand final. But the winners will go on and the losers will be on vacation after today. All right, folks, let's head back down to the commentators and they'll take us into the final quarter of this ring-a-ding-ding game. I tell you what, 41 apiece. Who's going to pull out the stops and make them count?
Race to the crowd, and rightly so. What a finals moment that was. Now, you put it on a few Melbourne players at half-time, Sarah, that they had to lift, and they really did.
It is. It's almost a commentator's curse, but this is a good one because I mention Shelley Heath was one of them who led the charge. She had the 10 disposals, started from the start of that quarter. She had 3 intercept possessions, 2 clearances and 2 inside 50. She was absolutely prolific. Alongside her, I mentioned Tyler Hanks and Paxi Paxman as well. They both stood up, had some really critical moments, but as you can see on your screen, Kate Hoare as well, she was outstanding. You want your captain to stand up when it's needed, and that is right now, but some of those Melbourne players did. Another little change was Taylor Harris into the centre, and she had a really key impact early on, being able to drive a bit of momentum forward for Melbourne.
Nervous moment for the Crows with Danielle Ponter with that ankle, Ellie. You don't want her out.
Yeah, you certainly don't want her out here. Of this contest, it looked like just a stinger of a rolled ankle there. She's had the 9 disposals and a goal to her name up until this point, so hopefully we can see her back out there, but she looked to be in a little bit of pain. But I mean, the D's had a dominant third quarter. They were able to sort of even up the scoreboard line. And I'm really intrigued in this final quarter. It's been a cracking contest so far. Looking forward to how both teams go about it, where the magnets get thrown, and what the contest plays out to be.
We'll keep a very close eye on Danielle Ponter, but I tell you what, it's going to be hard to take your eyes away from this final quarter, this semi-final. Melbourne and Adelaide all tied up at 3-quarter time. It doesn't get much better than this as they play for a spot in the prelim. It is on. Let's go enjoy the final term.
To play in the semi-final, the winner to face North Melbourne next week, and scores are level. It all comes down to this. Hanks tracks the football. Goldrick somehow emerged with it in the other direction. Hoare the dribble kick towards half forward. Fitzsimon won't escape Mueller.
Mel, you mentioned at half-time that you needed to see a response from the D's, and we certainly saw that in the third quarter. They've tested Adelaide, and now you look at the Crows. They had that advantage at the main break, and now what are they going to do to get the game back on their terms?
Harris's tap on his far as Charlton finishes with Jones. Pokes the kick inside 50. Gould versus Gillard. Gillard wins the one-on-one, then pulls the kick. It went straight to Newman, who gets crouched high by McNamara. Free kick, Matty Newman, just outside 50. You can see Hatchard pushing back, always dangerous in this situation. Gould's there, Allen's there, plenty of tall timber, so they spread it wide. It was clever. Grace Kelly, who's generally a fantastic finish, she's kicked 7-4 this season, 16-10 in her career. This is a tough shot, but what an important one.
Oh, Matthew Clark wanted composure going inside 50. That is just the perfect kick to advantage to Grace Kelly. Waited for the lead, she knew it was coming, put it out into space.
Kelly to give Adelaide the lead once again. Right to the line. Dangerous spot. And Denby Taylor slaps it through. Crows lead by that margin.
Well, Demi Taylor's had some massive wins today. Just that dour defender that just does all the little things right. Unrewarded on the score sheet often, but just so crucial.
So great to see her back after she retired in 2022 after a series of injuries. Fell out of love with the game, Denby Taylor, but she's back and an important part of this D's defensive lineup. Good mark taken by Mueller. And Kira finds someone inside 50. Prowse is the target. Gee, that was great vision. And the kick was just as good. Prowse backtracked. She knew where the space was. The kick needed to be perfect, and it was.
Another perfect touch kick inside 50.
Prowse wants to give this off, I think. She's on 50. Drives it long. Through hands. Back to Gould. Snaps across the face. It sits up. Here is Denby Taylor. Another big moment. Puts it on her boot. Dangerous spot. D's need to get back and try to kill this. Marnie got there first. Did well, didn't panic. Taylor, Paxman, dangerous kick. Good one. Crows just turning the screws. Goodwin's kick on the bounce to Newman. Plenty of leading space. Kick just needed to be good. What a fist from Gillard. Timed it perfectly. McNamara. Back to Gillard. Goldrick. Hoare. Looks to the middle of the ground. Randall against Wotherspoon. Randall so clever, fed it back to Bedell, put the head down, a little awkward from Gore. Chelsea gets the free kick.
I'd love to see one of the Melbourne forwards round up Bedell there. I feel like if they let her be spare for this whole last quarter, she's just going to pick off every single time they try to move that ball forward.
As good as it gets, reading the play behind the football, Chelsea Bedell. That's another great mark from Krause, and what a move this is turning out to be.
Yeah, it worked really well for them last week with Randall back in the side to go back as that extra defender.
Krause from 52. Good strong hands. Gould almost at ground level. Found it. Marinoff tries to give it off. Hatchard, impossible angle. Snaps it around. Goldrick slides in. No mark paid. Has to get rid of it quickly. Harris is the target. Mueller will come from the side. Little spill to the back. Can the D's get something going here? McNamara looks up. Not a lot to kick to. Just pokes it into space for Fitzsimon to run onto. Has a runner to the outside. Almost threw it to McNamara. Play on the call. Look out, Marty. Randall just got her high. And Fitzsimon came in to remonstrate when she probably doesn't want to risk giving away a free kick.
It was more of a professional free kick, I think, from Chelsea Randall. They're a brilliant leader of this footy club.
Great kick, Marnie. Found Pearce, dropped the mark. Time to recover. Kick inside 50. Wotherspoon versus Bedell. Here's Bannon. Handball inside. They're lining up. Hall ducks the tackle. Gets a free kick. Advantage paid, and she takes it. 3 goals for Kate Hall. It was a great kick inside to Lauren Pearce. Adelaide defenders scrambling to get back out of position. And the D's skipper has kicked 3 of the 13 goals in this game.
As we can see, week in, week out, Kate Hoare is having a massive say on the outcome of this game. Pretty much against the run of play there. It's been 4 inside 50s for the Crows to just the 1 inside 50 from the D's, and Kate Hoare makes it count.
Let's head down the boundary side.
Great news for the Adelaide Crows. Danielle Ponta has just come back onto the ground after leaving the field with a left ankle injury in that third term. So she is back and lining up in the forward line.
Thanks, Nat. So Ponta and Kelly both having left the field but returned with ankle problems. Harris to Heath. O'Hare. Can she get past Marinoff? Not quite. Neve Kelly gets involved to break it up. Marinoff now to attack the other way. Boylo to half forward. An awkward one from Rashid. It ricochets in the Grace Kelly direction. Gets the hands free but missed with the handball. Bannon can pick it up. Feeds it to Hanks. Tries to fend off Jess Allen. Can't do so and gone. Importance of hitting your targets under pressure in this final term. Smothered off the boot of Randall. O'Hare's got to be quick. Just got the kick away. Going back with courage was Marnie, but he's Cronin.
It hasn't been Tyler Hanks's day. A couple of really massive defensive efforts. We saw a smother on this side of the ground earlier, and then another massive one there on Chelsea Randall, just so crucial.
And Shelley Heat's been important for the D's. She goes in there against Hatchard. Umpire says ball up. Hanks up to 11 touches, averaging 24 a game. And as you mentioned, it's these little moments. Doc Clark mentioned at 3/4 time. Games like this come down to critical moments and who owns more of them in the final term. Boylo's kick inside 50. Goldrick to collect an awkward one. Rashid, great tackle. Boyle Carr got through some traffic. Good composure. Spots Neve Kelly. Kelly has an option in the pocket. It's Hatchard. Man Hatchard, 40 out. Does she give it a ride? Does she set it up? Assessing her options as we speak. Sets it up. Sliding in, couldn't take the mark, was Gould. Mackin, O'Hare, Lampard. Out wide. Marnie works hard to get there. Beautiful gather. Randall. Back inside 50. And Heath again. Playing some sort of game. 21 touches for Shelley Heath.
Caitlin Gould has been the lead target 3 or 4 occasions early in this fourth term. That one in particular, Mel, you just need to take it. It was an easy chess mark in the end.
Yeah, they've had 7 inside 50s to 1. You just have to make the most of when you're dominating, because it doesn't necessarily last all quarter. So when you've got the momentum, you've got to put it on the scoreboard.
You can see there the timing forward half as well, Jay. 77% in favour of Adelaide. They just haven't been able to capitalise on the scoreboard.
Winks from half back. Pack around this one. Allen with the spoil. Marinoff tried to force her way through. Campbell was slick, did it well. Fitzsimon, here's the running machine. Heath again. Accelerates away from Custerman. Handball was perfect. Into the space from Marnie. No one inside 50. Wotherspoon's goal side. Great ball movement, Melbourne, and Riley Wotherspoon can go back and give the D's a buffer.
Wow, that's play of the day from a Demons perspective, and that's saying a lot because they've had many, but Shelley Heath, that weighted handball just out into space, and then what a crucial, brilliant mark that is from Wotherspoon.
Second season really coming out of her shell this year. The 21-year-old from Mackay. Australian junior cricketer, Queensland softballer, talented soccer player, turned her talents to football, and the D's are pretty happy that she did. Riley Wotherspoon gives Melbourne an 11-point lead. Still heaps of time on the clock. There'll be no panic from Adelaide, but right now it's advantage D's.
Shelley Heath, it's that handball right there over the defensive efforts of Chelsea Randall, and then that kick to Wotherspoon, a brilliant grab one-on-one with Bedell. Great set shot as well, but the D's are just owning the outside game at the moment. The handball chains, they're linking up. They're plus 11 in handballs in this quarter alone, and Jay's plus 12 on the outside game, so they're just finding space and running in waves well.
Mackin can't escape. Free kick, Adelaide. It's going to Ponta. 7 inside 50s to 2 in this final term in favour of the Crows. Got to hit their targets and chain up the way Melbourne did in the other direction to make the opposition pay, and it's a good, strong contested grab from Lauren Pearce.
And Abby, so many of these Crows players have finals experiences. You feel like some of those ones that we're so familiar hearing their names need to step up.
Gillard comes past for the handball. Spoil over the back. Here's Wotherspoon again. Well done, Bedell. Worked the angles nicely towards the line. Happy to be taken there by Riley Wotherspoon as we head to that.
Melbourne coach Mick Stinney has come down to coach from the bench at the moment. As we know, the game is in the balance and he is giving so much feedback to his players. And just on another note, Melbourne star forward Eden Zanker missing this game with concussion. She's sitting just behind me. She enjoyed a hot dog at halftime, but she's been so vocal and is very, very nervous on the sidelines at the moment. I'm sure she'll be hoping they can win and she can play in next week's preliminary final against the Blues.
Thanks, Matt. Shelley Heath, high kick inside 50. Goal comes out. There's a whistle. It's going Melbourne's way. Advantage paid. Wotherspoon delivers to the top of the square, and Georgia Campbell takes the grab in her hands, and a chance to go back and kick the second goal of the season. And this for a 17-point lead. The 22-year-old from Knox takes a deep breath. And the D's have seized the initiative. The first 3 goals of the final term. And it's Melbourne by 17 points. Still 7 minutes to play. But the time is now for Adelaide.
Inside 50s sit at 7-3. Adelaide's way in this final quarter. But from the 3 entries, Melbourne has kicked the 3 goals. So they're just making the most of their opportunities. Wotherspoon has had some huge moments in this fourth quarter, just took the advantage, and rightly so, because Georgia Campbell was on the end of it.
There's Eden Zanker looking a little happier than she was one hot dog ago. Pearce. Goodwin did well. Critical clearance. Ponta inside 50 for the response. Randall's gone forward, and why not? Can win a game off her own boot, as can this young lady. Indy Rashid snaps goalward. Minor score.
Crows have to cover the outlet here. They need another repeat entry. Some time in forward half.
Gillard to Lampard. The clock now Melbourne's friend. Too early to shut it down completely, but they don't have to take any unwarranted risks. Can play some tempo football if the opportunity arises. McNamara, that's not a great kick. Hall, Hanks, McNamara followed up to provide support. Kicks to half forward. Wotherspoon's become an important target forward of the football. At ground level, she'll need to compete here against Goodwin, and does. Cronin sweeps a handball. Look out, Kelly. Was clipped high over the shoulder, free kick. Approach the 6-minute mark. Adelaide needs 3 goals. Kick to half forward. Charlton competes. Ball hits the deck. Even at the back. Look out, Pearce. Had support. It was Lampard. Bends it to the middle of the ground. Mark taken by Marnie. Runner to the outside is Hall, but missed with the handball. Puts the skipper under pressure. Clipped high. And Kate Hall will take her time here and just steady things down for the D's.
Yeah, you can just see that the experience and leadership from Hall there. She knows that they've got the lead. They don't need to do anything silly.
To another veteran, Pearce, back to Hall. To a youngster now in O'Hare. Pokes it forward, but there's the turnover. Mueller takes the grab. Adelaide have just got to get it and go. They're going to need to take some risks here. Back themselves, as Newman does. Turns and kicks to half forward. They need some structure forward of the football to provide a contest. Hall, Hanks. Expansive handball for Fitzsimon. Spears it inside 50. Here's Wotherspoon again. Has looked so dangerous as a marking target. And Riley Wotherspoon can go back and kick her second of the final term, and at the very least take 30 off the clock.
Oh, it's been so impressive to watch this next wave of D's players really step up today. We've seen Wotherspoon, Debbie Taylor, Marnie have incredible games.
She was a Brisbane train-on in 2023, never got an opportunity with the Lions, having played her local footy at Sherwood Districts as a forward. Went to Melbourne. And pick 12 of 2023, something of a bolter. The D's saw potential. Misses left.
Just keep an eye on where Kate Hall goes. They normally do send her back as that extra spare when they go into game-saving mode.
All or nothing now for Adelaide. Cronin's kick straight up the middle of the ground. Hatchard, why not? Great marking target. Just gets it and goes. Adelaide are in absolute green light mode now. Just got to go at every opportunity and try to make something happen. Try to make Melbourne a bit jittery late. Goodwin. Here goes Kelly to the outside. Back to Goodwin. Run and gun from the Crows. Bends the kick inside 50. Gould against Gillard. Gould tried to get the handball through to Randall. Chelsea would have been heading goalward, but the tackle stuck.
Just great work rate from the D's defence. Force a 2v1.
GC is Georgia Campbell.
After this.
Looking for a rotation is mixed in here. Kick towards Gore. McNamara has a runner on the outside. Fitzsimon's been so important, taken down ferociously by Charlton. Kick from Neve Kelly. Back to forward 50. Jones just slaps it on. Can he get over the back? Goldrick's there in protection. Pressure came from Marinoff. Ball spills out. 3 minutes 15. Adelaide need 3 goals in 3 minutes now.
Need some movement at the stoppage.
Kraus against Harris. Past Charlton, little flip. Grace Kelly. Newman back to Grace Kelly. Pressure from Goldrick. Nice hands. Mueller. Can Goodwin get some support? She can't. It's cut off by Heath. He'll go straight up the middle. It's a 2-on-2. Cronin turned around. Here's Wotherspoon again. He wanted to paddle towards Pearce. Cronin will come away with it. High kick inside 50. Arriving late will be Randall to crash the pack. Goldrick. Quick kick. Straight to Neve Kelly. Got to get it and go. What she got inside 50, a couple of options. The first one's Jones. Eloise needs to go back and kick this goal.
No time to waste. Crows inside 50 was there, helping EJ, just with a slight shepherd, a legal one, of course.
First piece of the puzzle for the Crows. Jones's kick floats to a dangerous position. Hatchard might have caught one in the nose. Ball up adjacent to the square. Caught one in the nose or the mouth, and Hatchard. No time to waste here though. Gould, Gooden out of the ruck. Goodwin against Heath. D's get numbers there to collapse in as you'd expect and just hold things up. Close the exits. Umpire waits a long time and will ping. Free kick Adelaide. Top of the goal square against Megan Fitzsimon. Marinoff's got to go back quickly. 90 seconds on the clock to make it less than a 2-goal game. Marinoff steps up to keep the Crows alive. And Adelaide is still in it. 11-point margin, 80 seconds to play. Crows need a clearance straight out of the middle.
Look to see where the Ponta goes into this centre bounce clearance. She's normally very, very crucial at the centre bounces.
Man, desperate scramble on top of that football.
Ebony Marinoff, straight after that goal, sprinted back to the centre of the ground, and Danielle Ponta has just made her way into this centre bounce as well.
Can they hit someone on the fly here? Krause is in there. Goodwin, Ponta, Marinoff. Who's coming through? It's Kelly off a wing. Throws a boot at it. Feeds it back. Melbourne collapsing on top. And they'll take that. Choose some time.
They'll just be looking to lock it down from here. The D's just play stoppage to stoppage, not allow Adelaide any easy exit.
Adelaide need to get it to the outside. You see Paxman's handball back into the congestion. It's pretty clever. Not something you would normally do, but in this situation it made sense. Harris wrapped up. Fitzsimon, quick kick squeezed out. Kelly in one direction, Hanks the other. Hanks tried to sock it forward. Goodwin stripped of the football. Sarah Allen used the body, picked up by Goodwin. Picked off by Fitzsimon. The kick will go inside 50. Wotherspoon comes thundering out to meet it. Bedell comes in as well. Melbourne have chewed up 30 seconds. Gee, that was clever, that handball from Paxman. You would never normally do that.
And just from Hanks, just keep the ball going forward on the ground. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yes. Ponta tries to paddle to advantage, taken down by Heath. Hit her head hard as she landed. Newman, kick down the line to Gould. Gould's just got to get it and go. 30 seconds. Here goes Randall. She can run all the way to 50. Gillard in pursuit, closing. Chelsea, Reeves. Gillard gets her! The second time today, Talia Gillard finishes the game for Melbourne. Kate Hall puts both fists in the air. That is inspirational.
Take it, Val. Talia Gillard. Eden Zanga loves it as well.
And Melbourne have won their first final in 3 years. Hard-faced reigning champions North Melbourne for a place in the 2025 Grand Final. An emotional Mixtoneer, tears in his eyes for his 100th game. Eyes welling up with pride, and why not? Here's Nat Edwards.
So emotional, Kate. Your coach is crying and the celebration, and everyone went to Talia Gillard with that amazing tackle. You're in a preliminary final and you're going to face the Brutes.
I know, I can't believe it. We had to do it the hard way, obviously losing to Brisbane last week, but I felt we had a really good week on the track, prepared really well for this matchup against Adelaide. They're a tough outfit. We've played against them for so many years now, had so many great battles, so full credit to them for the season they've had, but yeah, unreal to get the job done and through to a prelim.
Amazing. And what about this wave of new Ds that we're seeing, like Denby Taylor and then Maggie Marnie as well today, and Riley Wotherspoon? They all stood up.
I know, it's a bit of a new year for us. Our kids are coming out to play, which is awesome. Mag's had her best game of the year in the final, pretty impressive from such a young kid. So yeah, loving what they bring in.
And you're just getting better and better each week. We're about to go off air, so you go and celebrate. Congratulations, you're into a prelim.
Thank you so much.
Well, tears from the coach Mixtoneer in his 100th game, and cheers
for the Melbourne Demons through to the club's 4th AFL Women's Preliminary Final. And what a performance it was. They were challenged heavily by the Adelaide Crows, but managed to get themselves over the line. And what a captain's performance it was from Kate Hoare, with 3 goals to steer the ship. They were incredible.
She was truly incredible. What a performance she put on today. I mean, the way she stood up, the goals that she created, the opportunities and moments that she created for her team. Just a special moment for her team right now and for herself today.
Talia Gillard with that late tackle too, Sarah. Finals are all about moments. That one came late in the game, but it counted just as much, didn't it?
It was huge, and you saw her teammates get around her and celebrate, and obviously the cameras were on those players who weren't there, Eden Zanker being one of them, but Talia Gillard had an outstanding game today. She did last week as well, so she's putting in all her efforts where you want it to in the finals, and I think that, it was a really good team effort. Shelley Heath was another one who I just thought was absolutely outstanding, in particular that second half. She stood up when Melbourne needed her.
Incredible from the Demons. Let's get back to Icon Park, where Jess Webster is with Taylor Harris.
Thanks, Loz. Taylor, you're into another preliminary final. How good does that feel?
Yeah, more footy with my friends. Can't wait.
Tell me about the performance today. You must be really proud. You were challenged so much by the Crows, but you rose when it mattered most.
Yeah, it was a bit of a roller coaster. Of course, they were going to come back. It's finals footy, nothing to lose. So I'm proud of the way we responded and played all the way to the very end.
Kate Hoare was absolutely ridiculous today. How inspiring is she as a teammate, and what do you think of her performance today?
As per usual, it's her middle name, Ridiculous. So she's just fantastic, an amazing leader, and just digs deep and makes you want to dig deeper. So unbelievable to play with her.
And talk to me about the young kids today that really stepped up as well. In particular, Riley Wotherspoon I thought was fantastic, but you must be really proud of how the young kids really owned their opportunity today.
Yeah, fellow Queenslander, Riley, she was fantastic today, and also Mags, Molly, Layla Ebert, just these players that are first year of footy and absolutely killing it, and each week growing and getting more confident. So love playing with them, love their energy, and can't wait for next week for another show from them.
North Melbourne next week, what do you think of that matchup, and what gives you the confidence that you can get the job done?
Yeah, they're obviously excellent outfit, and I can't wait to verse them. We want to challenge ourselves, we want to verse the best. So we'll come and give it everything and absolutely dig deep and dig in and give it everything we've got. So bring it on.
Bring it on indeed. We'll see you next week, Tay.
Thank you. Thanks, Jess.
So we can see the celebrations for Melbourne, just how much it means to them. But of course, all roads lead back to Icon Park next Saturday afternoon, where the dominant North Melbourne Kangaroos await in a preliminary final, and then of course that grand final to follow the following week. Eden Zanker, the key forward for Melbourne, right in the middle of those celebrations. Ellie, of course, if she makes her way through these concussion protocols over the next few days, she could come back into the mix of that forward line, which is a great addition potentially for the D's next week.
Yeah, it would be huge to have her back in the side for next week's game. I mean, what a momentous occasion the prelim will be next week, and knowing the defence of North Melbourne and the tall targets that they have across the ground. I mean, you'd want to bring in that strength that you have in the likes of an Eden Zanker.
And we had a look at Wotherspoon today. She was one who I thought really stood up in the absence of Eden Zanker. She obviously, kicked 2 goals in that last quarter as well. Had a real impact, had some contest. Taylor Harris, that allows her to play up the field a little bit more, and obviously Georgia Campbell, she spent a bit of time in the forward line today, but it allows her to play a little bit more of that dual ruck role as well.
Interesting to see Maeve Chaplin too listed as a TBC on the Melbourne Demons injury report. So they're obviously keeping the door open potentially for Maeve to come back into that defensive setup. Of course, as the Melbourne Demons bask in their glory of the victory and get ready to sing that famous song. So they'll be singing that for now, at least, but you would think the attention is going to turn very, very quickly, of course, as we say, to North Melbourne next Saturday afternoon. Paxi Paxman and Kate Hoare there, enjoying the spoils of victory at Icon Park. And what a victory it was. They were truly tested by the Adelaide Crows. Things were tight as they can come at three-quarter time. Of course, all level there, but Kate Hall was one that really took this game by the scruff of the neck and shared duties with her other forwards to get the Demons across the line. It was a real shared performance by the forwards, wasn't it, Elle?
Yeah, it was. Plenty of them stepped up today for the Demons, especially without Zanka in the side. I mean, we saw Marnie have a great performance. Wotherspoon stepped up. Campbell got on the scoreboard. Fitzsimon hit the scoreboard. So plenty of players stepped up and played their role today.
Now, Kate Hall, I feel like we just can't talk about her enough, Sarah. As we say, the Melbourne forwards were led beautifully by her. Eden Zanka was a notable omission. We've spoken about her throughout the afternoon from that forward line setup, and there were a lot of questions about what they were going to do without Zanka up forward. But Kate, we saw her in defence, we saw her in the middle, we saw her clearly up forward with 3 goals, but finished the day with 26 disposals and 3 goals to her name. It's a pretty handy performance from a skipper.
And she just continues to get better, and that's what you want from your captain and from your leaders is, you know, you walk a little bit taller around them. They find ways to bring other players in the game. And again, she just demands. She has this presence about her that either draws 1 defender, 2 defenders. It just makes them a little bit uneasy. And you can just see she's all class, just the way that she enjoyed celebrating with the crowd and the Melbourne supporters. But her ability just to take her game to that next level, how dynamic she is in the air, at ground level, no matter where she is, she's having an influence.
Well, they clearly love a challenge, these Demons. They, of course, brought themselves off the canvas, having been defeated by Brisbane last week, to get themselves back into form today. Were tested, as we say, by the Crows, but managed to get themselves into a preliminary final. But North Melbourne awaits, which, as we know this season, is certainly no easy task. They have been the dominant outfit all season, and it's one heck of a test awaiting the Demons next week, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I think if they play the way they did in sort of parts of the game, I think the way they started and the way they finished the game, I thought it was really dominant. You'd want to tidy up the way that I dare say they'll probably review that second term quite heavily in the way that they sort of went about it, but I think the way that they sort of finished and started the game, I think will give them a lot of confidence going into the game next weekend against North Melbourne, and particularly with some plays. You know, we didn't see the best performance from the likes of Tyler Hanks and Paxi Paxman today, but they had moments out there. But you need a consistent four-quarter performance, particularly against the North Melbourne outfit.
And some of your younger players stepping up too. I didn't think we saw much of Georgia Gall today. Obviously, Alyssa Bannon, who we know typically lights up a game. So there's some of these barometer players who aren't quite having the influence that they typically have before. But we have a look at North Melbourne as well. They haven't been beaten for a long period of time. There's no question about that. So I guess it's a matter of bringing your best A game. But I think in order to eliminate some of this North Melbourne side is just cutting out some of their uncontested style games. So hopefully expect to see Melbourne coming in with, obviously their defensive pressure needs to be on point.
And maybe play with a bit of freedom too. I mean, as I say, North Melbourne will, of course, be the hot favourites in that preliminary final, but anything can happen in November footy. Just a word on Adelaide. Be remiss of us not to mention their coach, Matthew Clark, a dual premiership coach who bows out from the competition today. He announced that before the season, that this would be his last dance. He's had an incredible career and he's taken this team to the highest of highs, but they'll be incredibly disappointed today.
Yeah, they will be, and a big congratulations to Doc Clark on his career. He's probably the most cool, calm, collective coach there is in the competition on the bench. But I mean, the way that they were sort of able to build into the season is something that they'd be proud of. I think from an Adelaide point of view, I think they started off relatively slow. They lost to St Kilda in round 1, but were then able last week to have a really dominant performance against them. So, and I mean, the way that Ebony Marinoff, I mean, we harp on about her a fair bit, but when she continuously puts up performances the way that she does, you know, it'd be remiss of us not to talk about her and acknowledge her performance again today in the season that she's had.
And we see Doc on, oh, sorry, that is Mick, but Doc, talking of Doc, you just hear the way that some of the girls talk about him and what they've been able to do for their careers. You Chelsea Randalls, Ebony Marinoff, Anne Hatchards, and again, you truly know that they're playing for their coach, and I think it's so important, and you see the love that they have for him, and especially a decision for him to come to terms with it at the start of the season, just knowing that it was his time to part ways with Adelaide and go, it's time for the group to have fresh eyes and a new lens. Again, I think across the board he's been a very well-respected coach from all players in the league.
That's right. They'll go home now, lick their wounds, and Melbourne to take on North Melbourne in a preliminary final next Saturday. Two teams will, of course, battle it out tonight for a spot in the other preliminary final. Of course, Hawthorn hosting Carlton at Icon Park. So a little bit of a strange one, but that's AFLW for you, isn't it? Full of quirks left, right and centre. Hawthorn and Carlton at Icon Park from 7 o'clock tonight. That's going to be another beauty.
Yeah, will be a beauty. I mean, the injuries of Hawthorn have been damning this season, and I think Emily Bates back into the side as well tonight, which is a huge in for them. But the way that the Blues are tracking at the moment, I'm really looking forward to this contest. Looking for some more celebrations from Sophie McKay as well.
Both McKay sisters. Abby's a little bit more the cool, calm, collected one. Sophie's happy to put on a show, but I am excited. I love the way that Blues have been playing this year. They're playing a really exciting attacking brand of footy and haven't played finals since, I think it was 2019, back when I was there. No, but it'll be a cracking game.
You make it sound like it was a life jet, Sarah. Well, the bar has been set very, very high with a cracking semi-final between Melbourne and Adelaide. Of course, Melbourne enjoying the chocolates. It's been fantastic to have both of you with us. So thank you, Ellie, and thank you, Sarah, for all of your efforts this afternoon. It was an incredible game of football. The Demons advanced to that preliminary final, but Hawthorn and Carlton will go toe-to-toe at Icon Park this evening in the second semi-final tonight, right here on Fox Footy from 7 o'clock. We'll see you then.